Hi, welcome back to Tales from the Road with Dr. Jill Windy. I'm Dave Dufour, and we are talking about ears today.
Yes.
And we've had our dose of yucky stuff today. So
we got more.
Yeah, we got a little bit more yucky stuff, but it's not too bad. But it's somewhat yucky. I've seen the pictures, but we're going to be talking about how to treat some of these ear problems, and obviously the pet owner's involved in this process. Obviously, this is not something that you want to have to go back to the veterinarian every day for the treatment and all that kind of stuff. It should be something you can do. But what's the biggest problem that you have in terms of what's the biggest problem that pet owners have in terms of handling treatments and maintaining them?
Well, I think probably some of our biggest pitfalls come into knowing what to expect and then just physically doing it, because flushing ears is not everybody's definition of a good time, pets included. So getting those things done, and then having this really great propensity for wanting to quit when everything seems to be doing better.
Right.
They stop shaking their head, they stop scratching their ears, they're not red anymore, so they're like, I think we're good.
And then when the doctor asks, well, why did you stop? Well, he was getting better. Well,
yeah.
No, but you're back here now with the problem again. See, it wasn't getting better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that also brings up one real quick thing, too, is how important it is for medical progress exams.
Okay.
Because you can't tell that an ear infection is gone at home. And you've got to have an otoscope, and you've got to be able to get all the way down to that ear and know what you're looking for. So, so that is really, really important. So when your doctor says, okay, I need to see you back in 2 to 3 weeks, we've got to make that appointment and keep it, because you do not want to quit before you're done.
That's right. Okay. Yep. So what are some of the types of treatments for ear problems that we would talk about?
Sure. Well, most of them are going to be topical things. So we've got the ear drops, the ear ointments, that kind of stuff. Now, quick word about those. Some are very liquidy and watery. Some are a little thicker, more like ointments. Okay, but it is extremely easy to undertreat an ear canal, because they're long and skinny. Remember, they're shaped like an owl. So it's really easy to just go ding, 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 and you've got a few drops in there, and oh, that's great. No, you've coated like a quarter of the ear canal. But it is absolutely impossible to overdose an ear canal and topical ear medicine.
With topical
Can't
stuff,
do it.
yeah.
So fill that little sucker up, get the canal completely coated, because again, if you don't have medicine down the entire canal, you're not getting rid of the entire infection. So that'll be the biggest thing about topical stuff.
Now, but here's my question.
Okay.
I'm a dog owner. I come to you and I say, I'll bet you've heard this, and that is, yeah, but if I fill up his ear, he just shakes it all out and it just wastes medicine, right?
Well, yeah, and you will probably have a little excess stuff come up, but you'll also be getting rid of the infection. So you may ultimately use less medicine by treating it thoroughly as opposed to treating it a long time.
So thinking long term is a little bit, yeah, how many bottles of medicine would you like to have to buy?
Right.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
But yeah,
point well taken. Right. But is there something you can do about the shaking issue or not, or just they're just going to do that?
Well, they are going to do it because, you're putting stuff down the canal and they're like, ugh.
They don't know what that is, right?
But a couple of ways that you can help guard against that is we actually use many times for our more liquidy, thinner materials, an actual dosing syringe. So we'll take like an oral syringe and drop a specific amount in there, so you can get that right down the ear canal and really get it right down into the bottom of the canal.
Right.
And then if you just really massage and work I'm rattling my microphone. Courtney's going to be mad at me. If you really really massage down at the base of that and get that distributed out over there, you also don't have to use quite as much to get it all coated. Right. So really rub it around and get it in there. Okay.
So now then there are I assume pills and internal medicines as well.
Sometimes we need those, yeah. When we get a horrible ear infection and all of the exudate and the wax and all the gook is being made and poured out in there's a lot of inflammation in the ear canal, and it gets really swollen. We'll see some pictures of that coming up in a little bit later, but gets very, very swollen, and you can't get them cleaned out and you can't get them treated because you've got this little tiny coffee stir. So sometimes we need to use cortisones, which sounds a little opposite because you're trying to treat an infection at the same time. We've got to get it opened up and get all the swelling out.
Right.
Sometimes if we have a middle ear infection, we have to use oral antibiotics in addition to our topical stuff too.
Okay. So what else do we need to know in terms of treatments?
We're in it for the long haul. This is not throw drops in for a few days and I'm good.
Gotcha.
Most of these, the mild ear infections, probably going to be a couple of weeks.
Right.
Some of these, I get some of these that are in here that are like, look like sewer pipes, and they're closed up and they've got pus coming out and all this stuff, more yucky stuff. We may be in there for weeks to months trying to get all that cleared out.
Okay. And now the other thing too is that okay, we've brought this little device along. What's that all about?
Yes. This is your tool for home. This is the most important thing you need to have at home. So these are the nasal aspirators. You can get in the infant store. They sell them in the pet stores and that kind of thing too. These are the baby booger suckers.
Right, yes.
And we talked about these a little bit in our nursing skills episode.
Right.
This is going to be your ear flush. Remember, we're not wiping out with a Kleenex and going down with Q-tips and all that kind of stuff to clear it out.
Right.
We have to make that curve of that ear canal, that dog leg in the ear canal, and bring that stuff back up. So the best way to do that is by flushing the ears. So you're basically going to suck up your flush solution into the bulb. You're going to put it down the ear canal and flush it. Okay. This is not a job to do next to the white leather couch.
Right.
Okay. So cleanable area.
Your dog or cat will not like this.
Yeah.
It's not something
It's
they're
not
going to say,
exciting.
ooh, that feels good.
Yeah,
They're not
it's
going
like,
to do that.
Please do that some more.
Right.
Now, your veterinarian will tell you what kind of flush solution you want to use. It may be a homemade recipe because this is a large volume kind of flush.
Right.
So you're going to go through a commercial flush pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Or there may be a very specific one they want you to use. So double check what they want you to use to flush and clean the ears.
Right. Now you hear hydrogen peroxide. Is
No.
that do not use that.
No, don't put peroxide down the ear, and please don't put rubbing alcohol down the ears during an infection because
Oh,
their
yeah,
ear is already inflamed,
That's
it's on
gonna hurt
fire,
like crazy,
and
yes.
pour alcohol into an open cut, then you'll know what it feels like.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, all right. So we have some icky, yucky pictures that you were going to show us
We
again?
do. We do.
What do we got first here? What's coming up?
Well, here it is. This is an ear canal. Now, these pictures, the videos that you saw in segment 1 and these pictures here are taken with what's called a video otoscope. And this is a really important part of our tools in the clinic. The hand otoscopes that we use like in the exam rooms.
With the little funnel.
With the little cone,
Yeah, right, yeah.
Those magnify about 2 to 5 times, depending on which model you have. The video otoscope will magnify it 25 times. So you really get in there, get to see all the detail. You can get behind the eardrum. You can really get down this canal. Now, the problem is when you have a canal that looks like this. So this is basically a clogged pipe. This is a clogged sewer pipe. You can't even see the eardrum back there.
Right.
There's so much crud in here.
And you wonder why when you whistle, your dog doesn't come.
Right.
This might be it,
Yeah.
right?
You can imagine if your ear canal looked like this, how you would feel. And as we've talked before, dogs are just really stoic, and sometimes they don't give you big signs about this, and cats too. But anyway, so you got to get down in here. Now, looking at an ear canal like this, you know, it looks like a cobblestone road. It's got all this crud mushed into it. Can't even see the end of it. This is the ear canal that you can't just put drops in and expect this to go away.
Gotcha.
And you may not even be able to flush this with a bulb syringe.
Okay.
Some of these have to actually go in and have video otoscopy done. And when we do that, we basically go down, and it's sort of like a little miniature roto-rooter.
Yeah.
Because we got to get all this cleaned out. But when we're done with that, they can look like the next picture that I have, which is that guy.
Oh my goodness.
So that is what an ear canal is supposed to look like.
Right.
Now we're going down. You won't see the eardrum in this picture because we're up in that vertical part of the canal.
Okay.
So
The dog leg is down that little hole that we're seeing there.
the little hole is where the dog leg is. But this will give you an idea of what that canal is supposed to look like. So you can see the obvious difference there and why you need to get that cleaned out. The reason that this is so important is not just so you can have a stunning before and after picture,
Right.
but because all of the actual infection is sitting under all that goo. So you
Gotcha.
can't just coat the goo. You
Yeah.
got to get it all out of
If
there.
you put drops in, you're just sort of, you're curing anything the goo has.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly. And the other really important part about this is that, you know, in that first picture, we couldn't even see the ear canal or see the eardrum. So
Right.
do I know if it has a ruptured eardrum? No. Is
No.
it going to affect the medicines I use in there? Absolutely.
Right.
So you got to be able to see all the way down the tunnel.
Right. Yeah. And believe me, if you've got all that kind of stuff on there, and you're not going to be able to see it. Certainly, the doctor may not. You might have a problem
I can't
getting
see
to
the
it
eardrum in that
until
first
that's
picture.
clearing out. Even with the otoscope, you can't get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to clear it out.
Yeah. So don't try and eyeball these problems.
Exactly.
And think that you've got a good handle on it. Okay. Right. All right. Well, we're going to be talking more about ear problems and yucky stuff. I shouldn't say that. You know,
it's good.
It's really important. It's really important. I mean this. It's really important stuff for you to know, because you don't want your animals to suffer, and ear infections and foreign matter and that kind of stuff is especially it's especially possible for your animal to pick those things up, especially when you're traveling and out in the woods and things like that. So be aware of your dog and cat's ears. They are a survival thing, and they've got to have them, and you need to be there to watch out for them. So we're going to be right back after this on Tales from the Road, so please stay with us. Got a question or a comment for Dr. Jill Windy? Get in touch at tales@rvnn.tv or leave a voicemail at 877-578-RVNN extension 705. Hey, why not email a photo of you and your pet on the RV trail? We love pictures, and we might just use it in an upcoming episode. Follow RV Newsnet on Facebook and Twitter, and you can receive text messages to alert you when we're streaming live by texting RVNN to 72727. That way, you can join us live in the chat room, ask questions, and become part of the RV Newsnet family. Remember, any photos or other material submitted to us become the property of RV Newsnet and cannot be returned. Today's show is brought to you by Angie's List, where you'll find thousands of unbiased reports and reviews about service companies in your area. Whether you're looking for a roofer, plumber, house cleaner, dentist, or even a doctor, Angie's List members share their experiences with each other so that you can choose the service company that's right for your job. Companies can't pay to be on Angie's List, and the reviews come from people just like you who have had experience with the companies mentioned. To find out more, go to rvnn.tv and click on the Angie's List ad.